That's it long range. He's got it. This first in a Loyal jersey. 1-0 San Diego.
Stadium in San Diego. It has been a sellout the last few days. Loyal SC ready to kick off this season.
Drew actually got a hand on it, and this one will go high and up and in. One more time.
Torero Stadium in San Diego. Professional soccer has finally arrived.
Well, that stunk. Welcome in. It is Matchday Live. I am Darren Smith. We hope to be joined by Jordan Caruth here momentarily. If you were with us on Matchday Live, the pre-show, you know we did a little bit of a split broadcast with Jordan chiming in from home, and I can see him on our screen, so I know that he's there. I don't know that he can hear us. Yes, Jordan, I feel like it's been a while since you and I have said this with this kind of tone. Win or lose, we drink the booze, and tonight we are drinking the brews because this one was an absolute gutter ball here at Torero Stadium tonight. It was a first-minute goal for Real Monarchs, who hadn't won away from Rio Tinto Stadium since August 1st of 2020. They pick up their first 3 points away from Salt Lake City tonight here at Torero Stadium. The whole idea of the Fortress took a little bit of a hit as Loyal drops at Torero Stadium. 5 wins, a draw, and a couple of losses overall. Got a little help in the division tonight. We'll talk about that coming up later. But Jordan, really not much to write home about here. You were watching on television. I'm watching live. I can't wait to hear your perspective.
Yeah, you're right. It's not all bad news from the division tonight. Clearly not great news from Torero Stadium. I think it was very obvious tonight that Real Monarchs made it very uncomfortable for San Diego throughout the evening. That started right away with the early goal, a goal inside the minute, the quickest goal that San Diego has ever allowed. So it was an uncomfortable start. It never, ever became more comfortable for San Diego beyond that. It felt like between the early goal, the amount of fouls that Monarchs handed out throughout the match, it was just an uncomfortable match all the way through for San Diego. They never really settled into it. They really never had control for long stretches, it didn't seem like. There were moments, there were flashes. Now, I thought San Diego were awfully close several times. Jack Blake goes off the bar early on in a free kick. We saw Alejandro Guido have a few opportunities. He's just inches away so many times this season, Darren. I feel like he's a player that could have 4 to 5 goals this year, but for whatever reason, he's just been an inch off the wrong way a lot this year. So he had a couple chances. Then we saw Ben Spencer late. We saw the offside flag go up on Guido when Corey Herzog slotted one home. So San Diego had chances, but they ended up on the wrong side on a lot of them, most of them, all of them really. And it was just an uncomfortable match for San Diego, it seemed like, from at least my perspective.
Yeah, and it felt that way here at Torero Stadium as well. It just, uncomfortable is the right word. No real rhythm to it whatsoever. First half a little bit flat. Loyal had lowest percentages of the 2021 season in terms of points completed here either at Torero Stadium or playing away. And a lot of that I think had to do with Monarchs. You know, you mentioned it. I think at last count here it was like 22 fouls, 22 to 5 fouls. Monarchs got the early goal, and it seemed like all they really wanted to do was disrupt rhythm. They did that. Loyal had a lot of possession, but Loyal also didn't get a shot until the 57th minute. So into the second half, you know, we've sort of seen these types of situations before, and tonight, you know, compounding it was a quick team, a lot of pace out there for Monarchs, and certainly a club that just refused to let Loyal get in any rhythm whatsoever by constantly fouling.
Yeah, and it made it uncomfortable. I think it was very obvious that Monarchs came in and there was a lot of things going against them. They were playing on a short week. They've been bad away from their home stadium. So there was a lot of things where it looked like San Diego could be kind of comfortable in this one. And unfortunately, it just proved to be the complete opposite. You think that this would be one to get 3 points. San Diego don't get the 3 points. You mentioned it. You get some help a little bit elsewhere. So I do see you have Corey Herzog. I'll let you take care of business. I'll say goodnight from North County As Darren says hello to Corey Herzog
see our guy
and
Jordan?
family.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we'll say that's Jordan. He's
Where's he at?
broadcasting from home here tonight, playing it safe. You know, we live in some pretty sketchy times. So
Feel you.
Jordan's away, so I'll take it over here from Torero Stadium as I'll also hook up the Buena Vista. I feel like tonight's one of those nights. We have a saying on the show, Corey Brews, like tonight definitely feels like one of those. Tell us, like, you know, your immediate thoughts just walking off the pitch. I got you covered on some chocolate milk too.
I mean, I think the last time we had this conversation was, thank you. It was the conversation we had last time with Phoenix. I mean, if you're an away team and you're coming in to score a goal in the first 10 minutes, I mean, they scored in the first 40 seconds. It's giving them a lot of confidence to start the game. I mean, we just can't let that happen. We got to come at them like we've done the 9 games that we went unbeaten. We pressure teams and all that. We just need to come harder.
Where'd Carter go? She's out? She doesn't want the chocolate milk?
Blakey's kid, Leo.
Okay. By the way, I know I picked up strawberry milk for one of these children. I don't know whose it was last week, but still.
I tried to get her the one time. She didn't like the strawberry
All right, well, here,
milk.
I'm going to put the chocolate milk over there for you, so you got it covered here. And also, you know, they pick up an early goal. First minute, right? Like, nobody even really saw what the hell was going on. And then it was foul after foul after foul. 22, I think, by last count. 22, 23, something like that. And that's just what they called.
Yeah.
Like, we saw you go down here a little bit. Tell us, you know, that sort of seemed like it was obviously purposeful.
For sure, 100%. I mean, if you're an away team and you go up 1-0 in the first minute, it just changes the whole game. I mean, it changes what we want to do. It changes what they want to do. They're sitting back, trying to play smart, cute little stuff, just to waste as much time as possible. So we just can't let that happen. We have to come out. We have to be the team that scores first, put them under pressure, and then we go from there. That's what needs to happen.
That's what needs to happen, true. And, you know, again, for whatever reason, was it the fouling? Was it the way they were playing? You know, not to get a shot on target. I know we've sort of seen these sort of spells. You guys love playing possession, passing. Like, that's the name of the game for y'all. But, you know, to not pick up a shot on target until the second half, you know, that's them or that's you, or that's a combination of both?
I think combination of both. I mean, we just need to get better in the final third, me including getting shots off and just getting balls in the box where they're hitting the runners, not maybe over the top and stuff like that. Or we need more runners in the box, someone go near, somebody go far, so when it does go over, we have someone there. Just little stuff like that. Just anything, even a shot or a header on target, I mean, gives you confidence for the next one and all that. We just didn't get that in the first half. They kind of killed the game. I mean, from the 20th minute, I mean, that guy went down and started killing the game. So it's just frustrating, and then it's frustrating for us because we have to wait and take some mojo out of the game. Just most importantly, we just can't let them score in the first minute. We can't let that happen.
Exactly.
I mean, it's happened twice.
I didn't even see. I mean, it happened on the far side from us. You know, and like I said, like we just get done with the pregame show. We're chatting it and, you know, shooting the breeze over here. What I can't even tell you. I know it started over to the wing. We tried to do a pass, turned over, 1, 2, 3 pass, and then they scored. So yeah. Well, this was the second half of the season starting here tonight. 16 in the books. This is the start to the second half. Tell us a little bit about where you feel like Loyal's at now as we get the second half of the season underway.
I think these next 3 games are home. Either puts us in the playoffs and we're comfortable, or we're going to make our rest of the games a lot harder. I mean, we needed to win these games, and this is what we need to do to make ourselves comfortable in the end of the season so we can separate a little bit. We're just making it tighter for everything now. So we just need to take control of that and just come out and get 3 wins in the next 3 games.
And you got a little bit of good news in the division tonight. Again, I know that's not a silver lining, but Orange County lost to Los Dos, and it looks like Vegas and Phoenix at least were tied. Not that, you know, Phoenix is clear ahead, but that's something, you know, you guys are worried about you.
Yeah, we should have won. I mean, we would have jumped OC, little stuff like this. These 3 points are, even if we get a draw here, we tie with them and stuff. We're going to remember these 3 points if we have to in the end of the season if we can't pick up these next 3 wins.
Tell us what it's like. You know, there's no sugarcoating it. We appreciate that Corey always comes by here because there's no, like, this it's a terrible loss, right? Like, it's a bad loss.
Yeah.
So, you know, what's it like now? You know, what do you expect when you go into the changing room, into the dressing room, with the locker room with the guys?
I mean, we shouldn't be happy. We honestly should just, I don't even know. I don't want to say I don't know what all this, who listens, who all that. But we just need to look at ourselves in the mirror and just realize that everybody on the field didn't do what we needed to do tonight to get the win, and we just need to look at that, what we can do better, and it's just look at yourself, not as somebody else. That's what we need to do. And I mean, just little stuff like that we need to realize quickly, because we got 3 games in 7 days, and those are going to be big games.
And you need to reestablish here at home.
100%. Yeah, we need to be the team that scores first. We need to be the team that's on the front foot. We need to be the team that just wins games and has teams on their back foot, not like us tonight.
Yep, no doubt. We appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you. Corey Herzog stopping by. for, as he often has, grabbing a Buenavesa. If you need a second, we got you covered. We got a whole cooler here from Torero Stadium. We appreciate him stopping by, and we appreciate Carter stopping by as well, of course. We now not only bring the Buenavesa, but we also get the chocolate milk. So no clean sheet tonight, so no car wash. You know, we know the drill there. Single game tickets, though, they're still on sale. They just go for $25, all remaining 2021 home matches, including the next match, August 14th against Tacoma. That's 1 week from tonight. Hopefully a much better result, different atmosphere, different vibe, etc. Everything just, you know, a little bit off here tonight from Torero Stadium. Visit SDloyal.com/tickets for more information. Darren Smith, Matchday Live, will be back after this.
Your summer starts here. With big savings on a new Toyota, you can go out and do all the things that make summer the best time of the year. But don't miss out on all the fun. See your Toyota dealer and catch a great deal today.
Right now, drive home a stylish new Corolla with a low $199 a month lease. Or you can save big with $1,500 factory cash back.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Chosen Foods, we are inspired by the vibrant culinary lifestyle of the Baja Med and, of course, by avocados. From our flagship avocado oil to our family of dressings, mayos, simmer sauces, and guacamoles, the versatility of all Chosen Foods avocado-based products offer you the freedom to be both healthy and creative in the kitchen. Join us in the sun-drenched utopia of Chosen Foods, the avocado. Celebrate it.
During this pandemic, many families are worried about visiting healthcare facilities. I'm Dr. Gail Knight, Rady Children's Senior Vice President and Chief Medical Officer. I'd like to share with you the advice that I give my own family and friends. The best thing that you can do to keep your child healthy is to continue to keep routine appointments like vaccinations and regular checkups. This keeps you, your child, and our community as protected as possible. We are always open, we are here for you, and we are safe.
It's time to get moving with the financial partner that's here for your journey. From small steps to big milestones, USE Credit Union is here for you. With tools to help you bank fast, solutions to help you go far, and a team of dream makers that's ready to help you step forward with confidence. USE Credit Union.
Welcome back, Matchday Live. We are pitchside here from Torero Stadium. Darren Smith. We have said goodnight to Jordan Caruth. We will see Jordan hopefully here next Saturday night at Torero Stadium. SD Loyal does it again next week here at Torero. Returns to division play. If there is ever any silver lining in a really, really rough loss here tonight at Torero Stadium, as you just heard from Corey Herzog, and hey, no sugarcoating it. We appreciate that he does show up under good times and under bad circumstances as well. If there is any good news at all, it's what's also happening in the Pacific Division tonight. As mentioned, Orange County sitting in second place. They end up losing to Los Dos. That's one of those 6-point swings that we always talk about when you're playing in the Pacific Division. But this for Loyal tonight was a match against a Mountain Division club. So it's not one of those super impactful 6-win swings that we've seen so many times where you feel like, geez, you know, here all of a sudden the way things turn, fortunes turn very quickly in the Pacific Division. Not many of these left. We've seen them play, you know, RGV, Rio Grande Valley, tonight here against Monarchs. Later in the season, we'll see New Mexico. Louisville obviously was a out of division match. So only 4 of them scheduled for the season. This was the third of those 4. New Mexico coming up a little later on in the season. But next week, Tacoma. August 14th, kickoff set for 7:30. You can buy your tickets on SD Loyal. tickets, or you can tune in on ESPN Plus next week in Espanol on Azteca America 33. The match is going to be presented by Chosen Foods. That's coming up next Saturday night. So a little bit of housekeeping here is Loyal drops to 7 wins, 7 losses, and 3 draws thus far on the season. They remain in 3rd place in the Pacific Division. As mentioned, a little bit of help. Still waiting to see the final score from Phoenix and Las Vegas. At last check, that was 2-2, so we'll update you on that before we wrap up the broadcast. Officially, your man of the match tonight was Charlie Adams, and I certainly think that part of the storyline was that there were starters who were unavailable. Elijah Martin was unavailable. Callum Montgomery, unavailable tonight. Jack Metcalf, broken clavicle. He's going to be unavailable. Hopefully we see him in a couple of months' time. At best case scenario would be seeing Jack Metcalf towards the end of September. Early on, I really thought the all-time leader in starts and minutes played, you could tell. You could tell that just the right side, it didn't feel the same, it didn't look the same. If you were watching at home on Fox 5 or Azteca, you could probably tell. Here inside of Torero Stadium, we noticed that. Morgan Hackworth started at right back tonight, got subbed off at halftime. By the end of the match, Charlie Adams was playing left back. Chase Boone was playing right back. So all sorts of total football stuff going on out there tonight for Landon Donovan and for Nate Miller. Players were asked to do things that they don't normally do, but those are the circumstances when you're without Elijah, when you're without Callum, when you're without Jack Metcalf. You ask other players to do the things that they might not normally have to do, but hey, all hands on deck here from Torero Stadium tonight. The result, it was Loyal 0, it was Monarchs 1. One final segment to go. Maybe we'll talk to Nate Abarea, who is in the broadcast booth. Maybe as he stops by, just like Corey Herzog does for Buena Vesa. We'll get the thoughts from the play-by-play voice for SD Loyal tonight. That's coming up next. One final segment to go. Match Day Live here, pitchside from Torero Stadium. Stay tuned. More after this.
It starts off with a little seed, and with a little love from nature, it sprouts to life. And when delicious fresh fruits and veggies are perfect, they are rushed to the home of fresh. Sprouts, where goodness grows.
Want a perfect pair of sunglasses for your every occasion? Hit up the Knockaround Custom Shop. With over 1 million possible combinations, why not get a pair for every you? 8 a.m. I need a coffee you. Clocking a few miles you. Game day you. Happy camper you. Fun in the sun you. On the slopes you. Dog days you. Happy hour you. Si se puede you. The Knockaround Custom Shop. You design them, we build them.
Microphone. Our mate Nate. Final score here from Torero Stadium. SD Loyal 0, Real Monarchs 1. Douglas Martinez in the very first minute. I looked at the scoreboard here and it said something like 45, 46 seconds. Nate Abarea, he'll know best. How'd it go tonight?
It went well, I suppose, from a broadcast point of view. The honor of filling in for Jack Cronin, who...
Well, hold on.
Okay, well now it has gone smooth here for on the broadcast.
That's the way the whole night went, isn't it?
If that didn't sum it up perfectly, I'm talking about how smooth it went from a broadcast point of view, as my microphone isn't even on.
Well, Nate, I want you to know this, that nobody is going to blame you for that clunker.
Well, I like this. I was actually about to send a text to our mutual amigo, Jack Cronin, and congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Jack Cronin, the wedding and subsequent honeymoon, the reason for Jack being on assignment and me getting to segue over from the PA microphone to the broadcast microphone and be there with Shannon Mack. It was quite the privilege to be alongside a Hall of Famer, to be alongside an Olympic gold medalist on the 25th anniversary of her winning that Olympic gold, scoring in the final against China in Athens, Georgia in 1996. She scored in the Olympics. She won a World Cup in 1999. Notice that I'm not talking about the game at all.
Yes.
I'm talking about the color commentator that I got to talk next to.
Well, listen, Nate is a tremendous broadcaster. I know this, and I know, Nate, that you've always wanted to call a match that had that many fouls. Tell us what it was like, how exciting it was with Monarchs and their 22, 23 fouls.
It was 22 at the end?
Yeah,
Did they get it? Did they add a 23rd?
I may have. I had to use my phone for something else.
I wouldn't be surprised if they tacked on a 23rd. 23-5, I believe, the final foul tally in the game. It's the kind of game that makes you want to have a nice cold can of Buena Vesa and maybe a few more after that. And I think the frustration was palpable around this entire building. And I heard you say a few minutes ago, it's just a weird vibe in here from the start. And when you concede a goal 44 seconds in, I was saying 50 seconds in, it was actually earlier than that. 44 seconds into the game, the ball hits the back of the net. Brilliant goal. Weehan with a great assist. The former Stanford Cardinal man, a man who won a national championship for Stanford, plays it to a guy who just participated in the Olympics. Talk about Olympians and Shannon Mack. Honduras, they obviously had a short-lived Olympic run, but that was a player in Douglas Martinez who is an Olympian. I was sitting next to an Olympian in the booth, and there's a Honduran young player with a lot of potential, who's already done a lot of good things in his career, and it was just a brilliant goal. I mean, he glided right through the thing and gives his team a lead, and I joked at the end of the telecast with Shannon saying, something like that happens, you're thinking, all right, we're in for a barn burner.
Yeah.
From an entertainment standpoint, a goal goes in after 44 seconds. You're thinking, all right, the home team's going to be on the front foot, and we're going to be in for some entertaining soccer here tonight. Instead, it was a frustrating evening of soccer here at Torero Stadium.
Yeah, and it was also, for you, the way broadcasters operate, you come up, who's going to play. Like, this was okay, Charlie is playing left back, I think, at one point, and Chase Boone is like hit right back. Like, they just, there was so much happening here, just given the, the current status of certain players and injury. So, like, I don't know that has anything to do with it.
I feel like it kind of hovered over this game.
Jack Blake is asked to play more of a defensive role here tonight, right? Like, he's the leading scorer. He's tied for the lead in goals scored, him and Tumi Moshabani.
Yeah.
And he's asked to take on a little bit more of a defensive assignment tonight. So maybe not as much on the front foot as you would think for Jack Blake, who's, certainly taken more shots than anybody else on the Royal roster.
No, you mentioned that, and obviously we've talked a lot about well wishes to both Jack Metcalf and Callum Montgomery coming off of successful surgery operations from our friends at Rady Children's Hospital. Got to have Dr. Frias on the telecast. That was great fun. Again, the highlights of the night for me as a broadcaster was the people I got to broadcast with, as opposed to the actual soccer game where I would have loved to have called a goal for San Diego Loyal. But the point I was actually getting to in the open there was I'm actually weirdly relieved that Jack Cronin's final match before his brief hiatus here in the summer was actually a 1-0 loss at home. That way I can't be blamed for the lackluster performance and the 1-0 loss this evening. But the last thing I wanted to touch on there, obviously the well wishes to Metcalf and Montgomery, a nagging kind of injury situation with Colin Martin. And you talked about the task that Jack Blake was given tonight, something that he prides himself as a old school center midfielder who can do anything and do the dirty work. But let's be honest, Jack Blake scores bangers for San Diego Loyal. Jack Blake takes shots for San Diego Loyal. Jack Blake plays almost as a glorified number 10 when he's at his best for SD Loyal. And I think we really saw tonight in his absence just how valuable Colin Martin is to this team, and a player who doesn't score very often, a player who plays a very defensive midfield kind of role, and that's someone that Loyal really missed tonight. Obviously missing him, just straightforward, missing his presence, but also then what not having him forced a lot of other guys to have to do and break out of their comfort zones, and it was very clear that a lot of players were uncomfortable tonight. A lot of fans were kind of uncomfortable tonight. We were waiting and waiting for something to happen, and last chance saloon, stoppage time, it never felt really like it was going to happen. It was very unloyal 2021, and I can't wait for next week and for them to get this taste out of their mouths and get back to winning ways and get back to Fortress Torero Stadium.
And you bring Colin, like we're talking about 3 OGs. We're talking without Metcalf tonight, without Colin tonight, without Elijah tonight. These
Elijah
are
Martin as well.
These are 3 OGs. Like these are 3 guys who were there from day number 1.
Team 1.
Who, when you put up there, even in the short history for SD Loyal, you're talking about guys that are right up there with games played, matches started, minutes played. Like, these are, and you could tell right side that looked a little clunky out there, certainly in the first half, the right side coming back up where we normally are used to seeing Jack Metcalf. Yeah, you can tell those are tough boots to fill.
It was definitely tough in the first half for Morgan Hackworth. He had a big opportunity fall to his feet in the 5th minute where he could have equalized. He had a couple of big opportunities flying up that right flank, a la Jack Metcalf. Unfortunately, the services that Morgan provided were, let's just say, not Metcalf-like. One of the great crossers of the ball in the USL Championship. So they're missing Jack Metcalf on a leadership level, on a defensive level, and on an attacking up and down that right flank level. So a lot of different players forced to do things that maybe they're not ultra comfortable with. And this was, as my broadcast colleague Shannon Mack called it, a trap game for this team. It had trap game written all over it, and it ends up being exactly that. And so maybe you don't want to throw away 3 points at home against a team that's in last place in their division and has had one of the yet to win an away game. Yet to win on the road.
August 1st of 2020 away.
And coming off a 3-0 loss at home just 3 nights ago. So not what you want, but if I'm sort of twisting this in a positive direction, maybe the trial run for a few guys out there having to do some new responsibilities for this team. Maybe it'll go a little smoother as the Tacoma Defiants come in next Saturday.
So let me just end on a little bit of a silver lining.
Yes.
No, not that anybody cares about, and I appreciate Corey coming over here and, saying, because I told him, I said, hey, well, the good news is, if there is some, that Los Dos beat Orange County tonight. And what do they call it? The 405 Derby. So Orange County drops 3 points at home. And he goes, but our 3 points would have put us ahead of them.
Right.
So I love that perspective from Corey. He's not going, oh, yeah, okay,
cool. No, it almost makes it more angering when you see that the
we
team
should be in second tonight. This isn't one of those 6-point swings, so it's not like Real Monarchs are in the Pacific Division, where now it's a 6-point swing where you could have put yourself even with more distance against Monarchs. So it's not that. It's one of the 4 games that you're going to play outside of division. I don't know that anybody still... I guess with a half a season to go, you shouldn't completely write off the Pacific Division. But for what it's worth, Vegas and Phoenix tonight, 2-2 draw in Vegas. So Vegas has played much better than what we would have expected, but still a very disappointing start to the second half of the season here. Getting shut out at home, not picking up a shot on target until the 57th minute of the match. Certainly not the way you want to get your second 16 going here at Torero Stadium or anywhere else. But next Saturday night, 2 Wednesdays from now, this is the beginning of a 4-game homestand, so hopefully better days ahead here for SD Loyal.
Yeah, and you got to be thinking the goal, the benchmark, call it audacious, call it a big goal. It was 12 points from 12. You got 4 home matches in 14 days. They were looking for 12 out of 12. So now, as we live in the present moment and look to the positives and hopefulness and all that good stuff, it's 9 points from 12. That's now the goal, and that means they got to win their next 3, because 9 out of 12 doesn't sound that bad. 9 points from a possible 12 in 4 straight home matches doesn't sound half bad. So all they got to do is win 3 matches in a row.
That's all they got to do.
That's all they got to do.
Tacoma, Las Vegas, and then Orange County coming up on the 21st. Right. But as we remind you to sign off here tonight from Torero Stadium, and I think our mate Nate Abarea would say the same. Win or lose, we drink the brews.
Salud!
Cheers, everybody. See you next week.
Switch to Martin. Melquito. That's it long range. He's got it. This first in a Royal jersey. 1-0 San Diego.
Stadium in San Diego. It has been a sellout the last few days. Loyal SC ready to kick off this season.
actually got a hand on it, and this one will go high and up and in. One more time.
Torero Stadium in San Diego. Professional soccer has finally arrived.